We look forward to the holidays. We look forward to having family gatherings. And sometimes we are not excited about having family gatherings and they feel stressful to us. This is because our nervous system gets really caught up in patterns. And so, even though we may want to have a very wonderful family gathering, if we have the predisposition to believe that there's going to be a problem, we anticipate conflict, we anticipate tension, and our brain's threat center, the amygdala, gets activated and prepares us to go into flight, fright, freeze. And we really just need to be aware. Self-awareness is such an incredible way to recognize what's going on and unblend from the perception that things are going to go the way we're worried they will go. So by noticing what's going on and breathing through it, we have a way of being able to actually send a message to the brain that says, I'm safe. When we are around tricky family dynamics, and I'm sure that we all have experiences with this, it really helps to shift our mind. And then there's the question, how do we shift our mind? And one tool that's incredibly helpful in yoga is called sankalpa, which is intention. So if you set a one word intention for how things are going to be for you, within you, then you are most likely to be able to come back to your own true wishes for the holiday, your own desire to have things go smoothly and bring your best self to the event. Remember that you can't control other people. You can only regulate your own nervous system. And sometimes just a few slow breaths, maybe even lengthening the exhale, can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's built-in calm response. And the practice of drawing inward, finding your own thoughts, choosing where to place your awareness can make such a difference. When you anchor yourself in calm, then very often other people do respond and soften also. And remember, you're not responsible, though, for how they respond to you, but you can come back to your one word or phrase that is your sankalpa, your powerful intention, and bring yourself back to kind, gracious. I am gentle with myself. Whatever phrase, word, or even an image that helps you to shift your mind and release the anxiety that you might be having from anticipating trouble with a family member. Preparing yourself mentally before seeing family members that you find difficult or have traditionally found difficult might involve first getting physically aware and begin to move your body. So before the gathering, take a brisk walk or do a few yoga stretches. You can even just raise one shoulder and then the other. This activates many systems in your body, and then you can do it the opposite direction. It can make a big difference just to relax this whole area of the neck and the shoulders. And you can pay attention to your face. Are your eyebrows raised, or can you release that? Is there a clenching of the jaw? Any of these physical attributes that come from tension can be relaxed physically. And in so doing, you actually clear cortisol, which is the stress hormone, from your system. So by releasing it physically, you make space for more emotional steadiness. And another thing that you can do is to anticipate the opposite of what you thought you were preparing for. So say that there has always been, Uncle Jack or somebody that you feel has never been a pleasure to be with and always picking fights with people, maybe even with you. And so you're geared up to face a challenge, find a difficult situation. What if you just said to yourself, let me turn that around? Let me see how I could see this differently. Because as much energy as we put into taking care of something by figuring everything will go wrong and how am I going to deal with that, we can give ourselves the gift of anticipating that everything will go right and that we enjoy these people, perhaps even. They're a fixture in our life. They're, if they were missing, you would miss them, most likely. So see if you can turn your sentences around when you start noticing what you're thinking. Very often, we can do a turnaround and find a different way to say it. So, oh no, Uncle Jack's going to be there and I bet he's going to make trouble for everybody, can turn around to, oh, good, Uncle Jack is going to be there. It's going to be fun to see how he relates to everybody. Just something different. Sometimes somebody says or does something that you find triggering. And that can be especially true with family members because there might be some sort of pattern. That's the person who often does things that you find triggering. So pause. Science calls this the inhibitory control. It's the ability to stop before reacting. That engages the prefrontal cortex, which is our center for reasoning and empathy. So when you hear or see something that you find personally triggering, see if you can take a moment. You can follow your breath all the way in. Let your mind just follow the breath in through the nose and exhale through the nose, following the breath all the way out, just taking that pause. And things will begin to change with that one conscious breath. And another thing that can be very, very helpful is to feel your feet. In yoga, we often say, we root to rise, which means press your feet into the ground and lift your heart. Relax your shoulders, get that Tadasana energy. You're standing tall, you're grounded and steady. This can be done standing or sitting. You feel your feet on the floor, and a single breath can turn a moment from reaction into a moment of response where you make a choice. Do I even respond? Maybe the best response is to gently smile and leave the room. You don't have to take care of everyone and everything. And if you feel strongly that you want to engage in a conversation with this person about their behavior, ask yourself, is this the occasion where I want to do that? Because this is the holidays and I want things to go well and I want to feel good about my own choices, about how I'm going to behave. So that pause can be incredibly valuable. Practice it during the day when you're not with family. You'll see it can become second nature to take a breath before you respond to somebody, before you react to someone. When we're hosting events, we often feel extremely responsible for everybody else's experience. A stress response, especially common among women, is driven by oxytocin and the desire to keep harmony. It's beautiful, but it's exhausting if you overextend. Hosting can trigger the tend and befriend instinct, which is really about performing certain acts and being almost absent from the event because the mind is just so filled with what does this person need and what should I bring out next? And oh my gosh, that dog is barking. I wonder if it's bothering everybody. And where are you? Where are you in all of that? You're not present. So, this is again a place where paying attention to the way we're thinking, what the thoughts are that are coming up, can make a huge difference so that we can hear ourselves with all these different concerns. And then we can say, oh, let me take a breath here. Maybe light a candle, even if company has already arrived. And you can always remind yourself that your energy will set the tone for the whole experience. Ultimately, what this does is you shift from performing the role of being the host or hostess to connecting. And you start to ask questions of people. Where were you this morning? Did you have a great trip? And if you don't know everything about them, and believe me, even if they're family, you probably don't know everything, you can say, I know you grew up down in that part of the county. I just don't know very much about that experience. Tell me something about it. Let me know where you went to grade school. Did you live there all your life? There are lots of things you don't know. And the minute you start paying attention to what others might offer you, then you're not focused on the things you need to do. And honestly, so what if you forget to bring out one of the dishes? So what if the dog is barking too loudly? Everything will be okay as long as you maintain that calm and comforting place for yourself. When you let go, warmth and generosity will flow naturally. You will find yourself comfortable, and so will your guests. Often, when we're in the midst of the holidays, we feel tense and tired and maybe not even festive. We need to honor those kinds of feelings as much as any other feeling. Emotional fatigue is real. Prolonged stress lowers your heart rate variability, which is a marker of resilience. Rest isn't weakness, it's a reset for your nervous system. Being with family can be particularly fatiguing. Sometimes it's just because we haven't seen them in so long. Or perhaps they started a fight with somebody else. We need rest. You need to be able to recognize that there are many, many ways in which you can take a break. Often people won't even notice if you went outside for a few minutes. It doesn't mean you're ignoring them. It means you're honoring what's going on with you. If possible, consider a restorative yoga pose like legs up the wall. Just doing that 5 minutes before anybody arrives or finding another place to do it. And if there's no wall available, grab a couple of books, slip them under your tail, under the sacrum at the base of your spine, not in the curve of the spine, way down at the tail. And you'll find you're able to put one leg up and then the other, and you can point your toes and flex your feet and make circles with your ankles. And then you can come to stillness, pressing your heels up to the sky, and just allow yourself to find your breath and relax. Relax your face. There are so many little muscles in your face. Just let all of them relax. And you can find what yogis call santosha, contentment. You don't need perfection to feel joy. You can just feel content, just where you are, how things are. So build rest into your day, and even during a family event, find a way to give yourself a moment of rest. One of the things that we want from a family gathering is joyful memories, joyful experiences together. And joy lives in presence. Laughter can increase your endorphins, physical activity can raise serotonin. So if you're finding that people are kind of beginning to just separate and not really have a joyful experience together, you might suggest a group walk or even teach them a couple of your stretch moves. Everybody can have their legs up the wall with those books underneath their sacrum, just try to make things pleasant. You can bring a lot of joy to others by being joyful yourself. And that doesn't mean it has to be some kind of big moment straight out of Hallmark movies or something like that. It can just be remembering something great from another time, or talking about how incredible it is to see the children growing up, or anything. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just can contribute a little bit of momentum to the joy. Compliments go a long way. Smiling can be the most wonderful gift you can give another person. Sometimes the holidays can bring up a lot of sadness because we miss people who are no longer here. Grief actually activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. Allow the pain. Suppressing emotions keeps the stress response alive and it doesn't move forward. We need to be able to remember, feel our feelings, and move forward. It may not look like that to anyone else. It's private, it's personal. The amount of time that it takes is yours. Just be aware. And if you need more time alone, or you need someone to speak with you, maybe you haven't done any grief counseling, there are very skilled people who can make a big difference in helping us to feel our feelings of grief. It may help at the time of the holidays to create a small ritual, like light a candle, speak their name, share a memory. Love doesn't disappear, it transforms. One takeaway that I would like to give you is just to remember that you can't rewrite other people. You can't rewrite how they behave, how they think, what they do. What you can do is rewrite your own state. When you shift from wanting to control others to compassion, from reactivity to reflection, your nervous system will settle, and peace is actually contagious. So try to find that balance, what the yogis call sattva, clarity, equanimity. It's the quiet joy of showing up as your whole grounded self, no matter what unfolds, and being compassionate with yourself and being compassionate with others. Gratitude, compassion, awareness, these are things that we keep in mind in order to be more present. You know, the holidays with family can be really tricky, but you have the power to make this season calmer and more joyful. And if you want personalized support, a private coaching session with me at Lynn Coulston Coaching, or a beautiful gathering of loving souls who support one another in the group sessions, you can help shift your mindset, and thrive. So be sure to watch the rest of our holiday season series. Like, subscribe, click the bell, write a comment. Every small step matters. And take a look if you want at lynncoulstoncoaching.com. And I'd like to just close with a short guided grounding practice. Let's just take one long, easy breath together. Shoulders soft, jaw relaxed, heart open. Whatever your holidays look like this year, may you move through them with awareness, grace, and the courage to stay kind to yourself and everyone around you.